dream, 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 dream when I want you in my arms, when I want you and all your charms. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream when I feel blue in the night and I need you to hold me tight. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble.
Well, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, little darling, and tell me that you never leave me. Come on, let's go, again, again, and again. Well, now swing me all the way down there. Come on, let's go, little darling, let's go again once more. Well, I love you so, dear, and I'll never let you go. Come on, baby, so oh, pretty me.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3 and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the chimes ring 5, 6 and 7, we'll be right in 7th heaven. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Oh, when it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, I'll be going strong and so will you. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 12, we'll cool off, then start rocking around the clock again. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock.
Bomb, 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 dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon, 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 blue moon, dip, 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 moon, 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 blue moon, dip, 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 moon, 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 blue moon, dip, 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 bomb, 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 dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon, moon, moon,
You saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart, without a love of my heart.
Dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon.
You knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really care for. And then suddenly
hear somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I look, the moon is there to go. Oh, blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Dang it, dang, dang, ding it, on ding, blue. Dang it, dang, dang, ding it, on ding, blue. Bomb 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 dang 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 ding it on ding blue moon. Bomb 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 dang 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 ding it on ding blue moon 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 blue moon. Dip 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 moon moon moon.
I welcome you to the town of Creston. Now on the other, so I was saying, in February 2013, which is just over a year and a half ago, Pat and I met in my office, my town office. She came to me with this idea that she had, and that was, what about having a class reunion and really promoting Creston and the 60s? And she was as excited then as she is now. And since then, on February 21st, we had our first meeting in Ricky's Lounge. 13 locals showed up, and that was the start of what we have here tonight. I'd really like to say thank you, particularly in this last week, because as you can see with the Canadian Legion last night with the meet and greet, and tonight the decor here, this committee did an exceptional job. And thank you very much to every one of them. I'd like Patsy to please stand up. Because it is her inspiration, her enthusiasm, and her tenacity. And I think all of you understand that she was out there trying to find every person that ever went to PCSS in the 60s and that would have graduated in 64, 65, and 66.
And he was yelling at people, "You're late, you're late." Did anybody else get that, or just me? There's one over there. There's another one. There's another one there. Just so we can even this up. Oh, we've got a change in the program. Thank you.
Lack of communication here. Sorry, Ron. Anyway. Thank you so much, Pat. I mean, we all worked along with you, but you were the spearhead. You just paid so much attention to detail. You've done an awesome job, and we're all together to enjoy this weekend. Thanks, Pat.
I just have a couple of words to say. Thank you very much for this. It was a surprise. You're welcome. No?
Just as a note, there are some people who decided that they didn't want to attend this reunion, and there were others who, for whatever reason, weren't able to attend this union. So what we're going to do is, first of all, send our best wishes to those who would like to have been here, but for whatever reason couldn't make it. and extend that into a memorial for those people who have passed on, who are our classmates, our teammates, our friends, our neighbors, and are no longer with us. We shall put up a slideshow on this particular wall. You can go ahead.
spinning your lips when you're chicken at the hop. Do the dance sensations that are sweeping the nation at the hop. Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop. Oh baby, let's go to the hop. Oh baby, let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop. Well, you can swing it, you can groove it, you can really start to move it at the hop. Where the jockey is the smoothest and the music is the coolest at the hop. All the cats and chicks can hit their kicks at the hop. Let's go! Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop. Baby, let's go to the hop. Baby, let's go to the hop. Come on, let's go to the hop. Let's go! You can rock it, you can roll it, do the stop and even scroll it at the hop. When the record stops spinning, you chill it, so when you're chicken at the hop. Do the dance sensations that are sweeping the nation at the hop.
I wish to thank you people very much for the opportunity we had to join you people here. But I would like to just relate one little thing that I don't think many of you may be aware of. This was a wonderful tribute to Tack Toyota. And he was a tremendous person, very community spirited. But there's one thing, Tack was a wonderful dancer, but there's one dance that he always wanted to do, and he couldn't. So I said to him, well fine, you and Betty come on down some evening to our place, and we cleared out the kitchen, made room, and for 10 minutes we worked on the Charleston. But guess who knew it right away? Not Tack. It was Betty. And I don't think Tack ever really did learn the Charleston anyway, but he tried. And again, this has been a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
And I'll start off by saying, bonjour, tout le monde, garçon et garçonettes. I guess that's why I wasn't Mr. Askeval's favorite. I was never too good in the French department. But, as Guy mentioned, Mr. Ben Moore, bless his soul, he told me when I graduated, you will make a fine teacher because you've tried every bloody trick in the books. During my career, which spanned 35 years, that's why I'm so gray, but anyway, I met some very, very fine people. And I worked with an administrator in the Peace River country who just relied on common sense. You could read all the books, you could take all the stuff off the internet, but common sense is what he really believed in. So, we're in the staff room. This is up in the Peace River. My wife and I taught at a high school in the Peace River. We're in the staff room. And the janitor comes flying into the staff room. Scusi, scusi. He says, come quick. He says, we got the problem. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, we go in the girls' bathroom, and here are perfect lipstick imprints on the mirrors. Every one. There must have been a dozen. And so I guess the girls were experimenting with makeup and stuff, and so they were just, this was in the early 70s, so they just planted these lip things all over the thing. And so Mr. Bonetti, he's just a little guy, he says, I work a damn hard. He says, I clean those mirrors. He says, and look at what they do. So our administrator, he says, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. So he goes to my wife, Jane, who was the home ec teacher, and he says to her, and she sponsored the grade 12s, you see, so he said, well, you talk to the girls. He says, I'll take the boys to the library, and you talk to the girls about this. It looks really bad, you know. Surely you don't have to do that. So she talked to him. The next day, here we go, right after recess, Mr. Benetti, he only started work at recess, comes flying in again. Oh my God, there's the girls, he says, are they doing it again? So go back in there. Sure they are, plunked all over the place and everything. So this time the administrator says, okay, what am I going to do here? So he calls in all the grade 11s and grade 12s. And he says, you know, the way this is positioned on the mirror, it has to be you girls. Someone in grade 11 and 12 is doing this. Now please stop and we'll just let it go at that. The next day, here it happens again. Mr. Benetti, he's flying off the handle again. The administrator loses his cool. He grabs all the grade 12 girls, marches them into the bathroom. He says, I know this was one of you grade 12 girls because you're the only ones that had a spare before recess. And up until that time, things were fine. Mr. Benetti works like crazy to keep this place shiny and nice. Now, Mr. Benetti has to work extra hard to get all that makeup off those mirrors. He has to polish and polish and polish to get that all off those mirrors. And it's hard work, and he could be doing something else. So, Mr. Benetti, show us how hard it is to get that makeup off the mirrors. So Mr. Benetti goes over to his cart, picks up a brush, walks over to the toilet, swishes it around, goes back to the mirror, and clears it like this. There was a mad rush of girls out the door. Never had a problem.
I think we're the only ones here that graduated from the Surdar Elementary School. So that's an accomplishment in itself.
In our 64 class, made a presentation to the school for the grad class. We call ourselves the very important grads. And I got up in front of the school and announced that we were going to give a present to the school. And laughed a little bit, very self-consciously, and finished it off saying thanks and started to walk away. And Fred came up, Martello, Durf, Fuzzy. And he said, aren't you going to tell him what it was? I said, oh. And what it was is that we presented the school clock for the basketball game. Old international truck.
Mrs. Cox.
Cox. And one day, Don Nelson and a couple of his friends picked up Don's Izetta and deposited in the back of Mrs. Cox's truck. So that led to some merriment. And there's quite a few antics with the Izetta that Don had. There's another time, and it keeps following around a few individuals, and I don't want to put too many names on things, but how many of you remember being locked upstairs in the high school? It was timed well so that Fred was up top talking to somebody. We were all in class, and they put chains around both ends of the top floor and put padlocks on to lock us up. That really raised a lot of hell.
Very muddy, and most of us wore gumboots or overshoes. I'm sorry, most of us wore gumboots or overshoes to the school, and I guess the principal or whoever decided to put shelves along the main lobby where you could store your boots until the end of the day and pick them up at the end of the homeroom period and away you go. But the lobby got very dusty through this whole time. So one of the things that my buddies, and I could name probably 10 or 20 guys here that used to do this with me, when we got to school before homeroom period in the morning, we would all go out and lean on the registers in the main lobby. You probably remember this. And Lynn Ellard, a lot of you know Lynn Ellard, I had supper with her about 6 weeks ago in White Rock, and she started telling me that the girls, and I never thought of this, I thought it was like all my buddies were just sitting here watching the girls and the guys go by. She told me that the girls felt that this was the walk from hell. And I'm like, why? Oh, you guys used to look at us, and she says, it wasn't what you said, it was what you were looking at us. And I'm like, well, I remember I was looking at you, I don't even remember saying anything to the girls, but anyway. Some of the girls may identify with that, I don't know, but that was her take on it. So this particular morning, the reason I mention the dust is because when I get to the end of this story, you'll understand why I'm mentioning that ahead of time. So there's 5 or 6 of us on this radiator, and at the opposite end of the main lobby was the fire doors where the office was and the door to the cafeteria. And we're leaning on this register, and one of us, I don't know who, brought a screwdriver with him. And we decided to pass the screwdriver down the line, and we all took the screws out of the front of this radiator. So basically when we finished, the only thing holding that radiator face up was us. There was no screws in it. So we're sitting there, and when they rang the bell for us all to go to morning homeroom class, none of us paid attention. Most of the kids went, but the rest of us, the guys that I was sitting with, just kept staying there. And what happened was Fred Martello or Ben Moore would come out from the office and shoo us off of the radiator and tell us to go to homeroom class. So we're all leaning there, and I know that this thing, when we all leave it, it's going to fall flat on its face in front of us. So I see Ben Moore coming out of the fire doors. I'm the first one off of that thing because I know what's going to happen to the last guy that's left there. And as I passed him in about the middle of the lobby, I kept looking back. And the guys were jumping off of that thing like fish in a frying pan because they saw what was happening and they thought, I can't be the last one on this radiator. I'm going to get the strap. People nowadays would be like, the strap? Yeah, well, I talked to a bunch of guys here. We all had the strap a few times. Didn't teach us anything, but anyway. So as I'm leaving the lobby, I went through those same double doors that Ben Moore had come through. And I'm looking back, and one by one, these guys are jumping off of the radiator. And there's one guy left, and he's leaning against it. Now he realizes, you know what, it's either a detention or I'm going to get the strap because when I get off of here, this thing's going to go. So about 10 feet in front of this thing, this last guy, whoever it was, decides to jump. And the thing comes down, bang, and the dust roils up Ben Moore's face. And he was standing there just flabbergasted. That's all I remember. I went through the double doors and I never turned back. Anyway, that's one. But
well, there she is. Let's ask her. Betty, is that Jimmy's window area? Gee, it must be great riding you. Is he picking you up after school today? By the way, where'd you meet him? I met him at the candy store. Turn around and smile at me, you get the picture? Yes, we've seen her. That's when I fell for either of the pack. I posted
go, go straight to my lover's harmony. Nobody but me. If this please hear my cry and let your hair fly straight to my lover's harmony. Oh yes. Cupid, come back here, oh, oh. Cupid, I need you so, oh. Cupid, come back here, oh, oh.
Goodbye, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. I had a wonderful time. That's it. Oh, he's scanning. That's my sister.
We really enjoyed ourselves. It was an awesome time.
We're planning, we're going to do a teen town once a year. Matt and I are going to start it.
Oh, good. Who for? The old people or the young people?
For the old people.
The old people?
Yeah, at the age. We're going to try and fix something here.
Thank you for a wonderful weekend. Yes. Thank you to the committee. Everything was absolutely amazing. Thank you. The weather was great and everybody's had such a super time getting in contact with people we haven't seen forever.
Hi, Tyson. No, it's thank you about the reunion.
This was the best weekend ever, guys. Thank you for all your hard work and do it again. We enjoyed it all thoroughly. We loved it.